Hey guys, we're here with another battle of the NPL Season 2. We are here going up against the Bayern Munchlax. I am, of course, the coach of the Reno Regis, and as I said, this is week 4. Now, if you guys did not see the team prep video, make sure you guys pause this video and go ahead and check that out first in case you were curious as to what kind of sets I'm bringing on the mons we have. But before we get the match started, we will go over what Megalugia decided to bring. He has Seismitoad, Gyarados, Mienshao, Mega Gardevoir, Skuntank, and Heatran. Now, looking at the team he brought, this is the first week I don't really have a dedicated lead, which is a little bit different for me. But nonetheless, I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with the Rotom-mow because I can get Volt Switch initiative, and if he wants to lead off with Seismitoad, then I can just hit him with a Leaf Storm, no problem. So we're going to go ahead and do just that. He leads off with the Mienshao, and we're going to go ahead and lead off with our Rotom-mow, as I said. Now, I'm predicting this thing to want to just go for a U-turn. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in, and I don't think he would go into Seismitoad, so I'm going to go ahead and fire off a T-Wave onto whatever's going to come in. He decides it's going to be the Heatran, which is great news for me, because that thing is going to be paralyzed. It is the only status you can actually give a Heatran besides, like, freezing it or sleep. The 3 main statuses, you can only paralyze it. So it's going to get paralyzed, and that's great news for us. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and click Volt Switch because I will easily outspeed this Heatran and be able to knock it out, but he's going to decide to go ahead and switch into the Skuntank. So we go ahead and Volt Switch out on that, and this is a great opportunity to go into my Dugtrio. Now, predicting him to want to go for a Sucker Punch and try to break my Sash, I'm going to go ahead and actually set up Rocks real quick, which works out perfectly. Dugtrio takes no damage, and we get our Rocks up essentially for free. He didn't bring any kind of hazard removal this week, so that's great for us. Now, he's going to go for a Sucker Punch. It's going to take Dugtrio down to a really low amount of health. But we had the Focus Sash, so we would have lived it anyways. And we're going to kill off this Skuntank with an Earthquake, and that's great news for us because now we are up 6-5 early. He's going to decide to go into his Mienshao. And I know Chandelure can take pretty much any hit that this thing wants to go for, especially me predicting him wanting to just go for a U-turn. And I can save Dugtrio to sack it off later, and I can get a clean switch into something else. Or I can use it for the Heatran as well. He decides to U-turn out and go into his Heatran on our Chandelure. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and set up a substitute because he is paralyzed and it will be faster guaranteed. So I'm going to go ahead and scout for the Earth Power to see if he has it, and he indeed does. So that means we cannot stay in. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Hydreigon. It's a neutral play. I could have gone into Togekiss, but I really thought he was going to go for a Flash Cannon, which is indeed what he did. So if I was predicting that, I really could have just gone into Rotom or Jirachi, but I didn't want to risk him going for a Fire-type move instead, so nonetheless, it was really just a 50-50. I got it wrong, and that's okay. I'm going to go for a U-turn and break the Air Balloon, which will allow us to trap the Heatran with our Dugtrio, and that's great for us. I think he's just going to want to go for another Flash Cannon, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into my Rotom-mow because it'll be able to take it, no problem, and we indeed do. So at this point, I'm just going to go for another Volt Switch and just keep on whittling down this Heatran. And I'm going to go into my Chandelure this time, predicting him to want to go for a Fire-type move, and we get a Flash Fire boost, but he's going to predict that, and he's just going to go for a Flash Cannon. Pretty neutral play, which is alright with us. He does get a special defense drop, which is pretty important, because that means we won't be able to take another Flash Cannon. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I'm just going to go ahead and try to sack off my Chandelure so I can get a clean switch into Dugtrio. So I'm going to fire off a Shadow Ball, but he gets Parahaxed, which is honestly really important, because that means that my Chandelure is going to be able to take out this Heatran. The special defense drop didn't matter, it was going to be a 2 KO with Shadow Ball anyways, but my Chandelure is going to be able to take out the Heatran. And we're going to go up 6-4 pretty early, which honestly that Parahax was pretty important, but nonetheless, he's going to go right into his Mienshao and click Stone Edge. At this point, I've begun to suspect that he's Scarfed because I had not seen Life Orb recoil, and you really don't see too many different types of sets on Mienshao. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jirachi, so I know I would be able to take a Stone Edge, but I really think he's going to do that and go right into his Seismitoad, so I'm going to go ahead and double out into my Rotom-mow, which ends up being the perfect play for us because we can fire off a Leaf Storm and either A, kill off this Seismitoad, or B, get a really big hit off if he wants to try to switch in something. So Leaf Storm goes off, down goes the Seismitoad. He has lost both of his potential rockers, so he has no more forms of hazards, which is great for us because we win the hazard war. At this point, Dugtrio has killed Skuntank, Chandelure has killed Heatran, and Rotom has killed Seismitoad. So he's going to go into his Gardevoir, and I thought this was a little strange because he could have easily just gone into his Mienshao. So I'm predicting him to honestly have either Protect or Substitute, but nonetheless, I'm just going to go ahead and sack off my Dugtrio. If he wants to set up a sub, I can very easily break that sub with an EQ. So I'm not worried about it, but he just decides to Hyper Voice. So down goes Dugtrio, that's okay. He did his job, he got rocks up, and he killed off the Skuntank, which he was meant to kill the Heatran, but Chandelure did that for him. So at this point, he's going to go for the Protect after I go into my Jirachi, trying to scout out what I'm going to do. And all I want to do is just paralyze this thing, because even if he wanted to switch out, paralyzing anything left on his team is going to be great news for us. He decides to Will-O-Wisp us, which is a little unfortunate because now our Iron Heads are going to be doing less damage, and we are going to start taking residual recovery. But at the end of the day, we'll be able to make it. So he's going to go for a Protect one more time and keep racking up that burn damage as I just click Iron Head, trying to get off some damage on this Gardevoir. Now that I have revealed the Iron Head, I'm going to go ahead and predict him to want to go out into Gyarados, because he would take that Iron Head no problem. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off a Thunderbolt as he does indeed go into the Gyarados. Great prediction, and the Gyarados is going to go down to the point where any other hit will take it out. It was Intimidate, so no Moxie, which was honestly a little bit of a relief, but at the end of the day, the Gyarados was less of a problem than I expected it to be. So yeah, down goes the Gyarados. Jirachi has killed Gyarados at this point. That is great for us. So he can really go into either thing, and depending on what he decides to go into, I can react accordingly. Now, predicting him to want to Protect here, as he does decide to go in Gardevoir, I didn't mention that, but predicting him to want to Protect here to rack up burn damage, I'm actually just going to set up a Wish, because there's no point in trying to attack him on a Protect. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a Wish off and get some more recovery, just because I can. He's going to go ahead and switch into his Mienshao at this time, and I'm just going to fire off an Iron Head. There's no reason to not. I could have gone for a Thunderbolt and tried to get the Paralysis, but at the end of the day, I think Iron Head would have just been the better play. So at this point, I really think he's just going to go for a knockoff. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Togekiss because I don't mind the leftovers being off, but he actually just goes straight for the high jump kick. And that's even better for Togekiss because I'm going to quad resist that. I'm going to take that no problem. At this point, there's literally no reason to just not fire off Air Slashes, do some damage to things. We're up pretty late into this game and it's looking good for us. So we go for an Air Slash on the Gardevoir. Now, I'm confident we can take a Hyper Voice because we have quite a bit of special defense investment. So we're going to go for one more Air Slash, and just in case I don't flinch or get the Para Hacks, we'll be able to take the Hyper Voice. We do indeed get the flinch, which just means Cupcake gets to stay healthy. It's not going to make an ultimate difference. So Togekiss is going to kill the Mega Gardevoir, and all that's left is the Mienshao. Now, and I believe this Mienshao is Scarfed. He told me after the match that it was indeed Scarf, so I was correct in that department. So it all depends on what he's going to lock himself into. I'm going to go into my Hydreigon, honestly predicting him to want to just lock himself in. I don't know what he's going to lock himself into, really. So I wanted to just sack off my Hydreigon if he wanted to go for a jump kick. If not, I can take pretty much any hit. And I could go into whatever, something to react to him locking himself into a certain move. But he decides to lock himself into Stone Edge, otherwise he wouldn't be able to hit the Jirachi. So, but nonetheless, this actually ends up working out for us because we could just fire off Shockwaves, and when we get low, we can go for Roost, whittle down this Mienshao to the point until it's dead, and we can conserve a 4-0, which is going to be great for us because differential is very important in this league, because if there ends up being a tie, whoever has the better differential is technically ahead and could make the difference in whether or not I make playoffs. So we are able to conserve the 4-0. It's just a matter of time before this Mienshao goes down to the Shockwave, and there it goes. So Hydreigon kills the Mienshao with Shockwave. Definitely not something I expected to happen. But we are going to take a 4-0 victory against the Bayern Munchlax. A very good game. GG to Megalugia. If I did not mention it, his YouTube link will definitely be down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure you check him out. Real quick, I also want to give a huge shout out to Jazz, who made our awesome Reno Regis logo that you guys see in every team prep and every battle video. So make sure you guys go check him out. His stuff will definitely be down in the description below as well. The NPL official YouTube and Twitter are both in the description below as well. But nonetheless, I don't know if you guys noticed this during the battle. I kind of tried to hint at it, but everybody got one. Literally all 6 members of my team that I brought this week got a kill, which was honestly pretty surprising. Match MVP, I can't pick one really, just because everybody got a kill. And so it's definitely not going to be Chandler or Doug Trio just because they're the ones who died statistically. Everybody else has done better. I'm leaning more towards Jirachi just because it was out the longest, I think, besides Hydreigon whittling down this Mienshao. But yeah, I think Jirachi was out the longest, so that's probably going to be the match MVP for me. But nonetheless, this was a very good game, very hard team to prep for. So honestly, make sure you guys definitely go check out Mega Lugia. He's an awesome dude. Next week, week 5, we do play Aki, the coach of the Portland Crobats, who, if you guys did see my NPL tryout videos, we did indeed play for the tryout tournament as he was a pinch hitter, as I called the video. He was a sub coach after a coach that dropped out, so we didn't have to do a whole shebang, blah, blah, blah. Long story. So we have battled him and beaten him before, but that was with a team that Aki did not build and Aki is not used to. This is a team that Aki is used to. And if I did not mention it, he was the NPL Season 1 champion. He is currently 2-1 at the time I am recording this video, because I don't know what happened for his Week 4 battle. He's definitely a very formidable opponent. He absolutely knows what he's doing, so we're going to have to be on our A-game for this next match. But nonetheless, if you guys did enjoy this battle, a like and a subscription would be much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Later.